Hey everyone, welcome to Athena After Dark. I hope you all had a great week. We have the legendary Jay Allen here, so it's going to be an exciting show. We'll kickstart this baby and get rolling. Okay, it's May. We've gone through a few events, and the place to be now for the rest of the month is in Tennessee. We have the Tennessee Motorcycles and Music Revival at the Loretta Lynn Ranch. Say that 20 times fast. It's May 18th through the 21st, and they have a great event going on. And our guest tonight, the legendary Jay Allen, is going to be a host along with Taylor Lynn, the granddaughter of Loretta Lynn. We'll talk about that a little more. They do have HD demo rides, hooligan races, hill climbs, so much stuff to do there. And if you're even thinking that you want to do something, plan it, do it. You still have time. And then after that, Sons of Speed Tennessee Jam on May 27th starts at noon at the Tennessee National Raceway, and you can get tickets starting at $10. So that is that. Let's see what else is on there. I got my little cards here because that prompter's a pain in my eyeballs. Okay, so next, something cool. Alrighty, I'm super excited to say it. Athena After Dark website has finally happened. It's up there and it's ready to check it out. Keep in mind that the content is still being tweaked. So thanks to my sister, Laura Clock, it is there and rocking. Please visit athenaafterdark.com and subscribe to the email. Next, I'm working on merchandise for that and the shop. So it's really cool. I'm excited about that. Okay, we're going to get through these segments because, you know, I get all excited about our guests. So next we have Ask Athena. Okay, so Deborah J. from Park City, Utah. She says, Athena, I wanted to ask if I heard you correctly when you were on the show with Sarah Liberty as a guest. You said you will be in Sturgis this year. Are you going to be at a ladies event? Where do I get information? Well, Miss Deborah, I will be at a few events in Sturgis. The Buffalo Chip, I will be at the Flying Pistons Builders Breakfast. And then I will also be at the Biker Bells Ride. And that is May 8th. We're going to have a great time. Super excited about that. I have been asked to be the ride captain. So that's just, it makes me giddy because, you know, I do my best to like stay on top of things, and wow, to be included in that is just absolutely amazing. So you can get the information at buffalochip.com/bikerbells, and please come out and see us. We're excited about that. It's going to be a great year, and you'll get to see our tonight's guest. He's always in Sturgis. He is, he's made some landmarks in this world we call motorcycles. So, okay, next we're going to get to a dose of goodwill. Okay, let me go back to my cards here. I'm going to read this to you, and then I'm going to play a video. I hope that everybody gets to see it and pays attention to it because it's very important. For me, it was. I cried. You know, there's no crying in motorcycles, but I cried. So Kaya is the service dog that went on her final flight after being diagnosed with cancer. Kaya was instrumental in passing the PAWS Act, which helps to provide service animals to our veterans. Kaya and her handler, Marine Corps veteran Cole Lyle, were thanked by a pilot on Southwest Airlines, and it went viral. So I wanted to put it up here so everyone could see it. If you don't watch the news or anything like that, you can see this. It is absolutely phenomenal. And I just want to put it up there. So Dawn's going to do that for me.
We have a special guest on today's flight. Kaya is a German Shepherd service dog who's been with her handler Cole since 2014. She was specifically trained to help veterans cope with mental health issues. She was the inspiration for the PAWS Act. It's a federal law that allows the VA to find service dogs for veterans with post-traumatic stress, which was signed into law in 2021. Lobbying for the PAWS Act and traveling with Cole, Kaya has flown on Southwest over 250 times out of the 320 flights she's been on. Sadly, Kaya was recently diagnosed with an untreatable cancer, so we have the solemn honor of taking her on what will be her last flight. She goes home to rest where she was born and first met Cole. If you have the opportunity and feel so inclined, feel free to search for her story and pay her a visit when we arrive in Dallas to show her some love. On behalf of Southwest Airlines, the two veterans up front, we thank both Kaya and Cole, a Marine Corps veteran, for their service. Woo!
Okay, so that was something that touched my heart. I truly thought that was amazing. Our servicemen and women deserve everything that they need, um, even if they're dogs. That is right. So um, I'm also going to share with you. Uh, I'm trying not to tear up here. So everyone that watches knows I always ask our guests to give us the organizations that they support. So Jay Allen says that his heart is with the Veterans of America Racing and Armed Forces Tribute Bikes. There's the website up there, and then you can see on the screen. So I understand why. Our service members, past and present, are the fabric of our country. They are the ones who provide the freedoms that we're entitled to. So take time, go ahead and do what you can to support any veteran organization. Please check into the ones that are here on the screen. If you can check out Kaya's story also, the Pause Act is an incredible thing. And I just wanted to share that with you. And thank you to our veterans, past, present, and our future. We're grateful more than you know. Hi, Teach. I see you. Kevin Bass is watching. He loves Jay Allen like we all do. You got to love that. So, as everybody knows, I get all excited. I'm going to go ahead and say we're going to go through some pictures. But this evening, I'm honored to have a man who is someone I admire, I respect, and I adore. He is a rider, a racer. He's an MC, and more. The incredible Jay Allen. So he has Jay Allen's Roadshow. You can find that at jayallensroadshow.com. And he is tonight's spark. He is a record-holding racer on the land speed. You know, babe, if you can take me out of there and show his pictures, because I think I pushed a button the wrong way. And there you go. And you can show the pictures. I messed Don up. Don's doing good at producing. So, and every once in a while, I'll push a button, and boy, I can it's the Hot Mess Express. You know, that's just how it is. So keep pushing your buttons. I'll keep pushing yours if you keep pushing mine. I love you. There he is, One Feather Racing. I mean, incredible. He holds land speed records. He is the creator of the legendary Broken Spoke Saloon that everyone knows in Sturgis and also in Daytona. And he has set land speed records. He's out there doing it. He makes everybody feel at home wherever you are. It doesn't matter. When he sees you out, he just feels like family. And he's one of the most incredible people on earth. He smiles, and he radiates sunshine, and he spreads it all over, which is something I absolutely appreciate and enjoy about him. So does everyone else who comes in contact with him. See, and I blew up the photos. So however I did it, I made it so where you can see everybody but their heads. Big smiles. Yeah, it looks like Don took the pictures because I put them in there and pushed the buttons. Okay, so we're going through some photos here, and I love it. I mean, there's just, like I said, he touches everybody's life. It's incredible. He has emceed at some of the biggest events in New York City, Indian Larry Ride. They have a block party. He's been in magazines. He's been all over the world. And again, like I said, he supports the veterans. He pays tribute with the Rolling Thunder. He's been all over the place. If you don't really know who Jay Allen is, boy, now's the time to find out. And like everyone knows in this show, we go ahead and we all know who the people are in our industry, but we want to get to know who they are as people because it's the stories and the experiences. And boy, he's got some too. So I'm super excited about that. Wow, I love those pictures. He's got some smiles going on there. That's him and Michael Lichter, but I managed to cut their heads off. Michael, if you're watching, I love you. I'm sorry I did that to you. There's Jay on his U.S. Army bike. So I'm going to go through the photos with you now because I messed it all up. Don's like, okay. That's Josh. And yeah, I know. You know, there's Jody. That's them racing on the Salt Flats, Bonneville. We are excited. We're going to make it there. Yeah, boy, I did. I messed all those pictures up. I'm going to put the pictures up on the website. Hey, there's Teach. There's his picture now. Hi, Dennis. How are you? I see you out there. And again, If someone can mess it up, I can. There we go. Now that's what I'm used to seeing. And if you have ever been to the Broken Spoke and you see Jay, he has some of the craziest stuff going on. They have some crazy contests. Oh, there he is with Miss Gloria, my motor maid mentor. I love her to death. 98, she'll be in July. She was at the Midwest Women's Rider Rally. So there he is racing. Look at that. Incredible shots. That's way back in the day. Look at that. See, some things never change. I absolutely love that shot. There you go. Just 2008 speed trials. Oh, Willie and Nanny, God rest her soul. What an incredible woman. Boy, howdy. There he is. Big smiles. At least I can see a smile. Boy, I messed that up. I think I was supposed to shrink the pictures. There's Miss Jody at the Broken Spoke. My son, there's Danger Dan and Jody. I know that face anywhere. My son Axel, he loves the Broken Spoke.
He's just down below.
He's just down below. Oh, Jay's in the photo. He's in the gully. See, yeah, I messed that up. Good. At least we can laugh about it. Everybody, your heads are missing. I love you all. I'll fix it. I promise I will. That is too funny. I don't know how I did that, babe, but there you go. That's pretty good. I did it, though. I managed to mess that up pretty good. That's why I'm not the producer. Chris Callen can laugh about that, I'm sure. Okay, we just got a few more shots of headless people. And again, I'll put these up on the website because I have the website up now. Thank you, Miss Laura. All right, look at that. That's fantastic. I love those shots.
Going fast.
Going fast.
That's number 69.
69, that's a good number. We love that number. There he is, all smiles. You gotta love that. Fantastic. Yep, and some of these shots I stole. Yeah, that one I stole off the internet, so obviously. And there he is with Unks. That's too funny. All right, so we're going to bring him in, and we're going to get to some questions, and I'm excited about that. Okay. Now we know why I'm not producing, right? Why I don't do this, because you see I messed up all those photos.
Holy smokes.
Don't forget to unmute him. You're so good. Unmute his mic. Yeah, look at that. Hey, Jay, how are you?
You're killing me. You're killing me.
I guess I brought the pictures and they were so big. I'm learning all about this stuff. Dawn didn't do it today. I did it, so it's my fault.
Nah, no problem. Good to be on your show.
Thank you for being here. I greatly appreciate it. So how have you been?
I've been great. Life's good. It just never slows down. People think when you get older that you're going to kind of chill. There is no chilling. It's 100 miles an hour plus all the time, and it's awesome.
It is awesome. And you make it awesome too. You make it look easy. That's kind of funny. Hi, Lance Baxter. We see you. But we got everybody's watching today. That we love that. That's exciting.
Teach just texted me and said, "You handsome devil. I love you, Teach."
There he is. There it is. We put it on the screen. Yes, we do love Teach. He's an incredible human being, as you are. It's just, we're so lucky to be in such a wonderful universe of motorcycles. And a lot of us have you to thank for that with all you've done throughout the years in the industry. You've made places home for us.
Athena, we have literally all of us, our passion, yours, all of ours combined, it just creates a force like a freaking tidal wave. And you're right, our passion just bleeds over and it just sucks people in. And there's nothing like motorcycles, period.
Nothing like it.
Nothing.
So I'm excited because you have some really good stuff coming up. You are going to be at the TMMR, the Tennessee Motorcycle Music Revival, right? And you're hosting with Miss Taylor Lynn, the granddaughter of Loretta Lynn.
She is amazing. That woman is so special. If you ever want to know what Loretta was like, Taylor's going to be the closest thing to it. She is an angel, and she's been down a lot of roads in life, and she's just come out like a flower. And I love that woman, and I can't wait to see her and stand on that stage with her. It's cool.
That is exciting. And she's been on tour with Conway Twitty's grandson, correct?
Oh, absolutely. They do a tribute to Loretta and Conway that is second to none. They fill auditoriums. I mean, they're killing it. And again, I think they're an extension of Conway and Loretta. I really believe that. It's almost a genetic thing. And if you love Conway and Loretta, you've got to see Taylor and Trey.
That's absolutely, but I mean, that's who we are too, growing up. I mean, country music too. And so this year, after her passing, I imagine there's going to be quite a tribute to her.
Absolutely.
Musically.
And we're going to fill a void for sure. It's going to feel different having her not there.
Mm-hmm. Most definitely. So now you guys have everything going on. You got the demo rides, the hill climbs, the hooligan races, bike shows, the BC Moto with Bill Dodge's show. That's going to be a fantastic show too.
You know, that guy is like Teach. Bill Dodge is a mentor to so many talented up and coming fabricators. And some of them might not be up and coming. They might have gotten there. But all I can tell you is the bike show was second to none. And he is like, everybody just looks up to him. And he's such a quality human being. I love that man. I respect him. He's one of my idols. And it's just so cool to see the relationship with him and these younger builders and what they're doing. And they really want to impress him and make him proud of them. And the event is the best venue for these guys to bring out these amazing custom bikes.
Yeah, Bill Dodge is absolutely someone that I love and adore myself. And
Special.
this year in Daytona, he actually invited me to the show next year. So,
Oh my God, I love
for
it.
as much of one of the guys as I am, I'm a girl, so I guess I get that too. So I'll bring both of it to the table. So
Yeah.
I love it, and I mean that just meant the world to me for him to invite me because, like you said, it's such an iconic show. And what they're doing there really are. I mean, they're in their 15th year with Carrie and Buck. I mean, Carrie even said to me when I asked her for a quote, you know, she said, well, we really wanted to revive motorcycles and music back in true biker fashion. So, and what better way to do it than to have you there also? I'm just so excited about that.
You know, there's nothing like it because I've been doing this for probably 35 years. And what's so unique about the TMMR is, you know, if you ask me, Jay, what's the magic concoction for a successful venue like the Broken Spoke? Typically, I would say a lot of killer classic rock that we all know. And what the TMMR is, and I don't know if it's Taylor or who all, you know, I don't know who's picking all these acts out, but they are gleaning Nashville and the surrounding area for some of the best music you've ever heard. And it's fresh and it's new. And again, the motorcycle thing, like you said, we've got everything from the Wall of Death to the hooligan races to the bikes. And this is on a piece of property that's like heaven with a big creek running through. You can just strip your pants down, jump in your underwear and dive in the creek. You know, there's nothing like it. There's nothing like it. It really is special. And I tell you that because I always ask people, how do you like it? Are you having a good time? And the response is just off the chart. Everybody that came is coming back, and it's truly unique, and it's a one of a kind event.
I love that. And I'm excited because that's something that I've also asked for some feedback from some people that go, you know, travel around. My uncle lives up there in Knoxville, and they say it's a fantastic event, you know, and even at the smokeout, we were promoting it and telling everybody you got to go. And, you know, at Willie's and the same thing. And everyone says the same thing. It's super special. You can't really describe it. You just got to be there to experience it. So I suggest everybody does that.
Amen. Absolutely.
That's it. So then what else do you have coming up for the rest of the year? I mean, I know we'll see you in Sturgis, right?
You know what I have? Well, just briefly, because I'll be racing out in Bonneville. But
good.
I come back from the TMMR, and I've got 4 days till I head out to the Isle of Man for the TT races. And this would be my 5th year. And every year I get lucky somebody, and I think they Google me and go, "Oh, you're a land speed racer. Would you like to be on our team?" So I'm on a team, and it's so cool. I get the credentials, and I do tire warmers. I mean, I'll do anything. I'll kick somebody's ass for taking their paddock, you know, but I just love being a part of a team. And these guys are gladiators on motorcycles. Last year, we lost 5 people in 1 week. It's an event that goes back to 1907. And you guys out there, if you've never heard of the Isle of Man TT, Google it. It's going to freak you out. It's going to
there's nothing like that.
There isn't. And so I'm so blessed. This is my 5th year to make it back. And, you know, at 69 years old, if it's not one day at a time, it's 1 year at a time. And thank you, Lord, I'm coming back one more time. So I'll be heading out to the Isle of Man right after the TMMR.
That is fantastic. Now, you said land speed. You have multiple records. What's the fastest you've gone on a motorcycle?
I'm up to 55 land speed records. And the fastest I've been is 235 miles an hour.
Holy shit.
But this bike, I'm telling you, it's got a 240 to 270 in it. We just got to find a few problems. But it's a monster. And then on my naked bike, which I'm so proud of because it took me 4 years, I hit the 200. Everyone wants to go over 200. Right. And after 4 years, I ran a 208 on a naked Harley.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, if you ever need any kind of help, I'll let you have Don. Oh, There goes my camera. My camera has a mind of its own today. But I'll let you have Don. He can sweep the pits for you. He'll do whatever. He just wants to go racing. So you're welcome to him.
Well, you're
Some days-
qualified too. You can do it as well.
Yeah, I'd have to sit back and watch. I'd want to be the cheerleader on that one because that's like you have to have. That's almost like having NASA engineers. You need those to go that fast. You have to have all that. Don wears a pocket protector in each pocket. You know, he's got he does, and he's very smart and passionate about all that. But yeah, I can't wait to go. So now, when exactly is that? When are you doing Bonneville?
Bonneville starts the first week of August. It conflicts with with Sturgis, but I say this humbly because it doesn't seem like me, but I got inducted into the Hall of Fame this year, so I am jumping on a plane out of Bonneville and going to Sturgis, and I'm going to see so many old friends, and get inducted with Chris Callan, by the way.
With Chris Callan, yes. Yeah, and I will be there.
And anyone who's seen World's Fastest Indian, Burt Monroe is getting a major inductee award. And I don't know if his son's coming out from New Zealand, but I'll tell you what, that's really cool because Burt Monroe is a racing god and icon. And so I'm very humbled and honored by that. But I'll be in Sturgis for like a day and a half and then just right back to Bonneville and get on that bike and hopefully set some world records. And my new team is Veterans of America Racing. And so every record we set, it's not Jay Allen, it's Veterans of America. Everybody that served in this country, we're setting records for them.
That is so incredible.
It's so cool. Incredible. I'm proud. It's awesome.
I love that. And I love that you just make sure that you include everybody. You've always done that. You included everyone. That's
Synergy.
something that
I love it.
Yeah, and it's like even when we see you in Daytona or Sturgis and when you're up on stage and you literally make everyone feel like family. And my son, I always tell him, if you're going to Broken Spoke, tell Jay Allen hello. He's like, oh, Mom, we get the whole experience. He's busy doing stuff. And I'm like, just go over and tell him. And he's like, well, I would, but I can't get off my chair. I'm having too much fun. And my friends, he's like the next contest. And I think he's going to do you still do the water gallons, right?
It's called German Stein holding. Yes, we do it.
German Stein holding. And then the girls with the moaning contest. You still do that one too?
We do orgasm contest. Yes.
I love it. I remember the first one of those. I was like, what in the hell? Don's like, you should get up there. I'm like, stop that. Behave yourself.
Every once in a while, you get a really good one, a hottie that really winds it up. And I look at the guys' faces in the crowd. They're like, oh, it's hilarious.
I love that. And we've had a lot of fun at the Broken Spoke.
But Athena, what you said about family, I tell you, of all the things we've been talking about, I can't tell you the only reason I'm still in this is because of the family. I got out of the Broken Spoke 5 years ago, and thank God people like the TMMR and all the other events that hire me as an MC, I do it because I get to come back with my family. And that was the only heartbreaker. If I ever had to leave this industry, it would break my heart not to see you and Teach and Don and everybody that is part of this family. And that's the only reason really why I do it. I don't want, the relationship has been second to none. And it's the most awesome relationship I've ever had in my life. My biking family, I'm there for them. I mean, if you go to jail, I'll bail your ass out.
Yes, and we're really lucky to have that. We're blessed, like you said, to have that whole thing. And I mean, so my fondest memory was I never done a burnout, and you were having a burnout contest, and I did head-to-head burnout with you. I was scared to death. Oh my goodness! But it was on a jockey shift too, so
you're a badass. You are a badass.
I made it through that. But everybody said, "Oh, you're gonna do that," and I was like, "They're like, oh, you're gonna go head-to-head with Jay," and I was like. Oh, and I didn't know if I was going to pass out. And then I was like, well, no, like he's family. So if I was going to do it with somebody, that's the person to do it with. So
absolutely.
It was absolute fun. Absolute. So with regard to the charities, so you have the veterans racing.
Well, it's funny. I am seeing so many events. There's so many great charities. Bikers are the number one givers for charities of any group on the planet Earth. So I'm behind really all the charities that are great for the children and for the military. That's where my heart is. But me personally, I'm 69 years old. You want to have purpose in life. That's why I went to Veterans of America Racing. How could you be more proud than racing for our veterans? And then, secondly, I have these amazing motorcycles. One was built by Billy Lane when he was in Florida in the correctional facility. And I've got a
Right?
bike for every branch of the military. And you take these to veterans homes and hospitals, and they're like
Oh,
puppies. These soldiers come out of there. Where's that Marine bike? It empowers them. And so I just, at this age, I just want to keep giving back and do good. I've been very blessed to have an exciting life. And probably when I was young, I was probably a lot more selfish and self-centered. But that's not where you go when you're older. And so I feel so blessed, and I just want to help, and I want to do good stuff.
and one of my fondest memories. This show's not about me, but you teach so many of us so much about giving and how to have heart be above and beyond. So you used to do the celebrity bike builder bartending at the
Was
Broken
that
Spokes.
incredible or what?
I have the little plaque next to my Willie's plaque. Those are my two most prized possessions. But
I love it.
What you did for me was you made it a point in my life that when I go to events and rallies to go to the veterans hospitals, because we did that.
Yeah.
You said, okay, everybody, let's go out to the veterans hospitals. And when I sat back and I watched them, they drug out their oxygen tanks and they were telling stories, and then they'd sit on the bikes, and then the real stories come out. They start talking to each other. And if you just sit back and you listen, you're like in awe of what they have provided for us, and without them, we wouldn't have what we have now. So,
And Athena, it's really weird when you go there. You think that, well, I'm doing a good thing, or people tell me, hey, what you're doing is really cool. But if you could imagine what you get from them, the interaction between them, I leave there walking on air. I'm giddy from whatever it is that those soldiers give me. I can't tell you. I get 10 times. It feels. Thank you. It is perfect. It fills me up.
Yeah, I tell everybody, it's like if you're a gas station and you give and give and give of yourself, and then you're empty. You go and do something as rewarding as that, and it fills you right back up. The tanks are full, and there's no doubt about it. That's but I learned that from you. I mean, I didn't realize that was available to us to be able to do. So I suggest that people, anytime they get a chance to positively, give to their community, especially with our veterans and our heroes and kids. Like you said, I tell everybody, kids, pets, and old people. If I can surround myself, I'm good.
Yeah.
That's how it goes. Very good. So, okay, are you ready for some questions?
Sure.
Okay, everybody gets the same questions, but we get all different answers. So that's the fun for me. All right, so first we're going to do some just for fun questions. Dogs or cats?
I hate this stuff. It's like if you told me pick one bike, you could only have one bike. I just put a gun in my mouth and pull the trigger. Okay.
Oh no.
I love I love Manx cats, but I love dogs, and I'm an animal whisperer. I mean, animals and I are like one. But I guess if I had to choose, I'd take dogs over cats, but I really love them both. A dog will lay there by you if you're dead until they die. A cat, they'll eat your eyes out when they get hungry. That's the difference between a dog and a cat. But I love them both. I really do.
Okay. Apples or oranges?
Oranges. When Billy was down in Avon Park, I went to visit him, and I showed up at night. And I saw an orange grove. I'm talking like 1,000-acre orange grove. And I pulled in the middle of it in my van, opened the doors, and I got up and I cracked an orange, and it just blew up in my face. And Florida's natural. Any of you guys go shopping, Florida's natural. I would get a mile from there, and the air is filled with oranges. And ever since then, you can smell it a mile away. And so ever since then, I've been an orange fanatic. You can use them in old fashions, and they're just a good ripe orange. Oh my God. And you just peel one slice at a time, and they blow up in your mouth. Oranges.
I love it. That's one of the reasons I live in Florida. I love that smell. Okay. So hotel or camping?
Well, again, that's apropos. It depends on what kind of motorcycle you're riding. But I'll take either depending on the situation. 3 days of camping, I love a motel.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
And then slow, fast, or faster? Like I even have to ask that question.
Well, no, the answer for me, it would be slow, only because when I'm on the salt, it's never fast enough, ever. Okay. But when I'm not on that salt, I know like a lot of clubs and stuff, man, these guys ride tight, they ride hard, they ride fast. that's not me. I really like whatever that motor, if it's a knuck or whatever, and Tisha relates to that, whatever that motor tells me it's happy at, that's where I ride. And I take it in. I would tell everybody out there, when you get older and you realize you got less sand in the hourglass, you're going to slow down and take it in a little bit more and go a little less fast. And so I'd say slower.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
And for some of us who are, not 20 anymore, I think we all are getting towards that same page, I noticed.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
then what is your okay, so sunshine or moonshine?
Sunshine or moonshine? Holy cow. Well, I'd like moonshine in the sunshine.
Okay. I like that. That's a
Yeah,
good
yeah.
one. Okay.
I think of my buddy Josh out there, Josh the Moonshiners.
Oh.
I love it. He's on our race team. He is one of our racers.
Yes.
Veterans. Josh has set records for our veterans. God, if you're out there, Josh, I love you, brother. We're gonna get you back on a bike as soon as you get up.
Yes. We're hoping he has a really good, speedy recovery for sure.
Yes.
Most definitely.
He's a great rider.
He is a great rider. He's a great guy too. He has just got a heart of gold. He's always there to lend an ear, listen to you, talk to you about something. Every time I've met him, he has just been an incredible
Hell, it
person.
might be a heart of platinum. It may be better than gold. I don't know.
Yeah, I would believe that for sure. And everyone feels the same about him. So that's all good. That's uplifting though for his recovery. So I'm good for that. So everybody keeps sending love and prayers. So, okay, what is your absolute favorite song? I know, hard to pick one. So
again, you're killing me with these questions. I got to tell you, I want to wring your neck. But I guess,
love you.
If I closed my eyes, I was in my stereo room, Stairway to Heaven, Led Zeppelin.
Okay. All right. Don's liking that. He's jumping up and down for joy back there.
I love Led Zeppelin.
Okay. So what is your favorite road food?
Peanut butter.
Ooh, peanut butter.
I can live on peanut butter. I'm a bachelor. I've already had 4 tablespoons of peanut butter today when I'm like hungry and I don't want to cook something, but I did hard boil some eggs. I'm going to make a salad tonight, but peanut butter. I love peanut butter.
Okay.
Crunchy.
I have a friend, Grot. He walks around with a jar of peanut butter in his hand all the time.
It's the shit.
It is the shit. Okay. If you were a cocktail, what would you be?
Ooh, now listen, I live on the Mexican border, you guys, and we have a tequila. It's not tequila, it's called mezcal. Okay. And they have some amazing mezcals. I would do a mezcal martini. It's like a tequila martini, but it's a mezcal martini. And I can't wait to get Teach back down here because I'm going to get him wasted on mezcal martinis.
That sounds interesting. That really does.
Athena, you got to come see me.
Yeah, definitely. Teach, you hear that? We're going to have to go. So we'll have to make a plan so we can go for sure. All right. So now we're going to get into serious questions. How long have you been riding?
Since I was 12 years old.
Okay.
I got hit by a car. You'll find this. I think a lot of us out there, we have dysfunctional lives. Everyone would like to say I was really normal, but there's nothing normal about my life. My mother asked me to go get her a pack of cigarettes, and I had a Suzuki 50 I bought for $8. And I got hit by a 63 Impala, and I didn't walk for a year. But my first bike was a Suzuki 50, and I was 12 years old.
12 years old. All right. Yeah, that's an experience there. We did the math, honey. Don's over there. He said he was 69. So, I mean, I'm sure everybody out there can add.
57 years, you guys.
Oh, so how did you get into motorcycles?
Well, I think somebody asked me once who influenced you with a motorcycle. And to be honest, it was the motorcycle itself. But I was hanging out with people a lot older than me. And there was a guy, God, I love this man. I haven't seen him in years, but his name was Michael Jackson. And he lived in San Fernando Valley. And he was one of the cool guys. He's the only one of our gang that joined the Army and went in the service. He was he's just a stand-up dude from Panama. But anyway, he laid under his bike. He had a sleeping bag under the shop table, and that's where he slept, in a shed. And so I'd always go in there and I'd look at this brown panhead, and that really, you get this picture in your mind, and then you just go, I got to do it. I got to do it. I got to do it. And when I was 15 and a half, just before I was 16, I got a few $1,000s from that accident when I was 12.
Okay.
And I bought a 59 Sportster with a black peanut tank, and I was rolling, man. I was off and going.
That's the XLCH. It had the rubber boots on it and everything, right?
Absolutely. And that was a very, believe it or not, I mean, I had a turkey leg for kicking them, but that bike, that's all I had for about 2 years. I mean, if I was going to the laundromat, I had a big old, my arms wrapped around the sheets tied in a knot, heading for the
Yeah.
laundromat. But yeah, I was hooked. From that point on, I was done.
Okay.
It was me.
Yeah, that's not hard to do too with a panhead. If you're staring at a panhead, that's hard not to
Oh,
do. So
yes.
tell me, how did you get into emceeing events? How did you, because I mean, you were the creator of the Broken Spoke. Like
Yeah,
you,
actually, I bought the broken spoke from a man that he's one of my mentors. His name was Dave Iverson. I created it in the extent that he just had the broken spoke in Sturgis, but he was the one who hung the bikes because this guy had some bikes and some cool stuff. And it was my favorite place to go to because listen to this one. I was at Mr. Al's swap meet in 1986 selling deerskin gloves and helmets. Do you remember the helmets with the horns and the horse
horns
tail?
on them. Yeah.
I'm telling you guys right now, you're gonna love this. I invented those helmets before anybody else did them. I did it. And my prototype helmet, I had these giant buffalo horns. You fill them with resin, and you set the bolt in the resin. Then you drill the hole in the helmet. You put the bolt through. Then you put the nut on the inside. I'm on a 62 panhead, 84 inches, going on a toy run with this stupid prototype helmet on I-10, right? And it's killing my neck. I'm like, oh my God, oh shit. I put my head down and the horn gets under the brake cable.
Oh shit.
Now, when I lift my head, it pulls the helmet over my eyeballs. I'm like, holy shit, I'm going to die. I'm going to die. I'm like, you start talking to yourself. Okay, find the line, go left, find the line. And my buddy's riding beside me, just pissing his pants,
Yeah, no
But
doubt.
I had to get that horn out from under the brake cable to save my ass. So anyway, in 86, I was selling those helmets and gloves, and right across from me on a 10 by 20 table was John Parham, JP.
Yeah.
So we started together, and he was right across the aisle from me. And so I have fond memories, but we go by the spoke, and Dave was just content with that spoke, but he wasn't a real people person because he's an artist. He has a degree in art and he's a fabricator. So it really wasn't his thing. I'm a people person. I love my family. That wasn't Dave. So he picked me. He said, you have a bike collection. I want you to buy it. And then from there, I built one in Daytona, Myrtle Beach, Laconia, went out and did now it's called the Full Throttle, but I did that campground out there on the 600 acres. So it's been a hell of a journey.
And the
And that's how I
memories that
started
you have
emceeing.
made.
And to answer your question, that's how I started emceeing. I couldn't afford an MC, and I was terrible, absolutely awful. It was
Really?
hard. Oh, I was awful.
Was it awkward when you
There was a
started?
tattoo contest at 2:00.
That is so far from where you are now. You're just
Yeah,
like I guess once people were receptive, you felt like you were, because you really have, you made it home for so many of us. I mean, through the decades, for real.
Yeah, and that's something I've always been as good as the service, because I truly, and you can ask Teach, he came and stayed with me, and I want you to come and stay with me, because whether it's at the Broken Spoke or at my house, or if we're out riding together, I've got your back. And I want people to be comfortable. You know what I mean? I want people to walk in and say, I feel safe and secure here. I'm happy here. And that's what I try and make. That's one of my concoctions, because I want people say, what do you do for a living? I said, if I'm lucky and I do my job well, I make memories. And that's really been my goal.
You do. And you definitely do. Like Teacher's putting on the screen, he said, and I remember the Nicky lot, you always hosted us at the county line. Some crazy stuff going on there, for sure.
Oh, those guys were a pain in my ass, and I loved them.
Yeah, he said you rolled out of the red carpet and you're forever grateful. That's what he says. That's what.
Yeah, we
says.
did.
I can't wait. I'm gonna have him. I'm pretty sure I've asked him to be on the show, so I just got to send him some dates, because I'd love to have him too. Like you, he's an incredible person.
Hey, Athena, we just had an event here, and it was off the chart. It was called The Prowl. That's when Danger Dan came down, Jody Perowitz, Michael Lichter. And I mean, when I was driving into town, I saw guys, with pans and knuckles on the side of the road with their wrenches laid out, laying on the ground, working on their stuff. I mean, it was like going back in time. It's a really special event. And the guy that puts it on, his name is Matt, and he's just he's a teacher. And he wants to teach kids how to fabricate. He wants to touch kids that have had rough childhoods and give them a direction. And guess who his hero is? Teach. Teach is his, he wants to be Teach. Well, who shows up but Teach?
Oh, that's awesome.
That's the kind of guy Teach is. And
Yes.
it meant so much to Matt. I wished I had sent you pictures today of Matt and Teach, because I said, I got to get you guys together and get a picture, because this is the reason that he is doing it, because he was inspired by Teach. And it's just a beautiful thing. And again, the event would rock your socks. Lots of shovels, pans, knucks, triumphs, tons of ridges, springers. I mean, it was really a cool event. Jody
And
was
it's
blown
called
away.
it's called the Prowl.
The Prowl. Yes.
Okay. And we're gonna make that an annual event.
It is. It is an annual event. Yes.
I love it. Okay. Well, I'm going to put that on my calendar for next year. I definitely want to be there for that.
You will love it.
For sure. I will, because I love people like that. I just love people who want to, again, be of service to others and pay forward what they have to, inspire, especially our youth. And, a lot of us, we've all had life shit. I mean, like you said, dysfunction. Most of us in the motorcycle world and industry, we come from some type of dysfunction that the motorcycle saved us from. At least in my story, that was my rescue story. If it wasn't for motorcycles, I would have had a whole different path in life, and it wouldn't have been a good one, I'm sure.
As they say in Mexico, yo también, me too.
Yeah, right. Exactly. So then I got to ask, how did you get into racing bikes?
It's really funny. When I was buying bikes to hang in the spoke, I'm always cycle traders. My wife's going, put that cycle trader down. You're not buying another goddamn motorcycle. I found a 1946 racer that was built by Buck Lavelle of Hot Bike Magazine.
Ooh, yes.
And I called him and I said, hey man, you still got that 46 Nuck? I mean, the 46 Indian. It's an Indian chief. And he goes, if you're calling for the Japanese, it's not leaving the country. And I says, no, man, I have a bar up in Sturgis, and it's a very compelling motorcycle. It's talking to me, and I would really be interested in buying it. And he goes, what place do you have in Sturgis? And I go, it's called the Broken Spoke. He goes, is this Jay? And I go, yeah, who is this? He goes,
cool.
It's Buck Lavelle. He goes, dude, I'll knock $2,000 off. Come and get your bike. So for 10 years, Athena, 10 years, I had that bike hanging from a tree in Daytona, behind the bar in Laconia, and it's behind the bar in Sturgis. And Dave Iverson, the guy I bought the spoke from, who's an amazing Indian wrench. I said, Dave, look me in the eye and shake my hand. This is 20 years ago. He said, for what? I says, let's take the little Indian down and let's go to Bonneville. And you know what, Athena? I've never missed one Bonneville since. 55 land speed records later. Little kid starts out on a tricycle. Mm-hmm. Well, that little Chief was my tricycle. And then I went to an FXR. Now I'm on a 300 horsepower turbocharged Dyna. But that little Indian started it all for me. And that's how I started racing 20 years ago.
That is amazing. And I have friends that Mark Rubin is up there. Usually he raced for a long time. I know you know him. He's very special to our heart, but you have to have it all to do that. There's no, you have to be a good sport. You have to be patient and sometimes very tolerable to the weather, the circumstances, the mechanical failures, all that stuff. So you have to be very resilient to be a racer in general, but then on the salt, I mean, wow.
You really nailed it. Bonneville has a personality of its own, and it's like people. It's like life. You try and navigate it, but it's never quite the same. And that's the way that salt is. But when you talk about the camaraderie, I got a brother out of Canada, Mike Yurko, and he breaks. S&S built him the coolest motor. It was a big bore with a short stroke. Something I always wanted, but I never got it. He got it, and he breaks my records. So I'm watching Mike. And guess who tunes his bike? My racing partner, Dustin King. Oh. And I got to tell you, it's really fun watching him bust my balls and break my records. So that's what it's all about. We're all out there having a blast, and we've got each other's back. And it's just like our family. It's incredible, right. And everyone's accessible, and they'll give you your last part if they have it.
Yes. It's the same thing with the cannonball, and it's just and a lot of people from the outside looking in don't understand that until they've been in the mix. But once they've been there, they see it, and it's addictive in its own regard, because I know for a lot of us, never found a place where we fit, and then when you come along those certain things and you fit, and it's family and the relationships. I mean, it is incredible, and I'm grateful. I'm grateful to have wonderful people like you in my life too. I think that's awesome.
Me
So
too.
my next question: absolute favorite rides. What's your favorite motorcycle to ride? Because I know you have a bunch. And then what's your favorite route to ride that you've ever ridden?
One of the most picturesque is that well, again, I'm a West Coaster. So,
Okay.
but because I know the Carolinas are awesome. You get up in the Smokies and up in there. So,
Yeah.
but out West, I love Northern Cal. I've got a property up there, and you just go rolling through those redwoods. And my God, there's some that are old as Christ. They dig back to pre-Christ. And and the coastline is absolutely gorgeous. And then, going over to Europe isn't bad either. Just
Oh,
cruising through Europe, it's so diverse, that again, if you were to tell me I have to give you one place, I just couldn't do it. But
okay.
that's the kind of riding I like for sure.
I like that. And the redwoods are beautiful. I mean,
Oh,
when I was a kid, we spent some time there, and it was just absolutely amazing that anything that is on this earth you couldn't explain. You can't explain it till you've been there. It's captivating. It really is.
and
So
this post-COVID stuff, it's Mother Nature. I tell you, even right down to the little red cardinal that comes in my yard every morning to say good
yeah.
morning to me to this day. That's where I found my sanity, is out in nature, and especially on a motorcycle. It doesn't get better. It doesn't get better.
No, it absolutely doesn't. What's your favorite motorcycle to ride? Says you have like 18 or 20 bikes, don't you?
No, probably more like 60 or 70. Well, but hey, there's a caveat. My ex-wife owns half of all of them.
Okay.
All right. But she's awesome. She deserves her half for sure. Again, this is really hard because um, I love old knucks and pans and shovels, but a bike that I go to a lot is my FXR. I love FXRs. I've set probably 30 land speed records. One of the pictures you showed, I'm sure, was my FXR.
Yeah.
They're just an amazing motorcycle. And I remember when I first saw them, I see a bunch of HAs out in front of a Gunner's saloon, and I'm Knuckles forever. I love it. But I asked one of the guys, I said, "What are these bikes?" And frankly, I thought they were kind of ugly. They're kind of weird. And Teach is killing me. Change your luck, ride a knuck.
Right. I love him.
Teach, you're
It's
killing me.
so
But
awesome.
anyway, it's a rubber mounted motorcycle. They'd never discovered that. Sonny Barger always told me, I hate riding Harleys. We only get 300 miles in a day, and once the FXRs came around, boy, they could really roll. And again, whether on the street or on the salt, they're an impressive motorcycle. It's what I call a cult bike now, because the Dyna replaced it. And
Mhm.
my two race bikes now are Dynas, but I love FXRs.
They are good motorcycles too. It was hard to get used to the rubber mounted, all that stuff,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
they are their own animal. That's what I'd have to say for sure. Their own animal. So there's another hard question for you. What's your favorite rally?
Again, that is not a fair question because they're all so unique. No, seriously. And
I
I'm not
love
trying to
it.
be I'm not being a politician here, but
No, I know.
for a guy that works them,
Do them
um,
all.
if you weren't there, you missed it. I tell people, I don't care if oh, I've been to Sturgis. I've done that one. No, everyone,
No,
just like us,
is
there's no person like you. There's no one like me. There's no
right.
two rallies. There's the same. And if you
I
didn't
agree.
go, those are the stories you will not have to tell. So I love every one of them. I just did Arizona Bike Week. I did, Daytona was off the chart. My
It
God,
was.
we had great shows, not on top of Willie's show down the
Hmm.
street. I mean, so how can you compare them? You can't. They're all amazing, man.
That's
I love them all.
that's the best answer so far. So I know you host all those events, but
Yes.
is there one that's a favorite that you most look forward to going back and forth, going back to every year?
No, I can't give you that answer because
I love it.
every check it out, Athena. Every rally is a family I haven't seen in a year.
Okay.
The sound company I haven't seen in a year. Certain bikers that don't get out of the state that I haven't seen in a year.
Yeah.
So it's like coming home every time I work one. It's like hugs and how have you been? Are you still riding the shovel head? And so yeah, they're every one is a homecoming for me, and it's 1 year increments. So they're all special.
That is fantastic. See, I love that answer. That just makes me warm and fuzzy all over because I totally get what you're saying there.
Yeah.
That's incredible. So this is going to be another hard one, but what's the most fun you've ever had on a motorcycle? And it's an adult show, so don't hold back.
Well, I have been late on a motorcycle, so I guess
Okay.
since I being a member of the Mile High Club, I can say I've had a lot of fun on a motorcycle. And
Okay.
but damn, that again, that's a tough one. I was in the Czech Republic, and I went to a rally that was on a Czechoslovakian airbase that used to be communist. And we were all drag racing down the airstrip, and I'll never forget racing the guy with his girlfriend riding backwards. It was so much fun. But
No
that was
shit.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It was a postcard, I got to tell you. But
Yeah.
that was epic. It really was. And then just, Italy was really beautiful. And again, the California coastline. And I'm just happy to be out riding. Yesterday, I went to Tombstone.
Oh,
I'm 20
nice.
something miles from Tombstone there. The 18-second gunfight between Wyatt Earp and Doc Holliday
Mhm.
and the Clantons. I ride up there all the time. And every time I do it, it's just as good as the last. I just love it. You there? Check 1 2. Hey, hey, hey. Hello. Did I lose you or did you lose me? Yeah. All right. She froze. I'm still alive. So let's talk about some of the questions she asked me about. All right, you guys. I know once she asked me about what builders, like who I liked hanging out with. And I thought, man, that's a tough one because I look at the base of the custom tree and guys like obviously Arlen Ness. I mean, he was a big influence on me getting into this motorcycle thing. I met him in a little town called Laytonville. I was getting gas and that touched me. And I've never been without, I got a 62 Panhead a week later and I've never been without a bike since. But Dave Perowitz, Donnie Smith, Pat Kennedy, Sugar Bear, Ronnie Finch, Ron Sims, Arlen Fatlin. So many of those guys were at the base of the custom tree. And I got to tell you that they were the guys that created the Billy Lanes and the Indian Larrys and the Kendall Johnsons and the Paul Coxes. And so yeah, I really look up to those guys, and I'm honored to have known every one of them personally because, like so many of you, I'm just a guy out there riding, looking at it, going, "Wow, there's Ronnie Finch, and there's Dave Perowitz, and there's Arlen Ness." It's they are truly amazing. Let's see, what else did she ask me? She says a racing memory. She asked me about a racing memory, and in Bonneville, of course, the best memory I've ever had was on an FXR, and it takes 2 passes to make a record. You go down, and they measure you for a mile. So when you come out of that mile, they tell you you're going to impound. You went faster than the record, but then you have to make a return run, and they balance out those 2 runs. If it averages out higher than the record, you just set a new land speed record. I made 8 passes and set 4 records. Every pass was a record pass. When I went to the awards ceremony, they gave me a tray, a banquet tray with my awards on it. And that was pretty epic. I felt pretty special for that. And Athena just told me if we lost the internet, if you just keep talking, if you can. But anyway, that was one of the most epic racing moments for sure. And let's see what else she asked me. She asked me too many things about what's the one thing you like because it's really hard to do that. And I know one thing she asked what advice I would give to a 25-year-old. And I actually had a young guy walk up to me at Arizona Bike Week and just say, "You look like you've done some really cool shit in your life. Is there anything you can share with me?" And I said, "Yeah, when I was younger, I did some really cool shit then too, but I think I did it at such a rapid pace. It was almost to say as if I did it, but I really didn't absorb it and take it in like I do now because at 69, I don't have a lot of sand left in this hourglass. So that ride to Tombstone yesterday was epic. I could feel the warm pockets and smell the mesquite. And so I would tell young people today, if you could think like an old person and absorb everything around you at a slower enough pace that you can truly absorb it instead of just saying you did it, you felt it, you smelled it, you embraced it. you're going to have the most full life you could ever have, you know. So be an old person in a young person's body, and you are going to maximize like no tomorrow. Let's see. And she asked about one of the best road trips, and something I'd like to go on. And I highly recommend this to all of you. I don't even know if it's legal, but Cuba is one of my favorite countries. And to get on a motorcycle and ride through Cuba and meet some of the most badass people that have been living in a communist country that don't have a lot, but have the class as if they're millionaires, and the guys are studs. I mean, you bike riders out there riding suicide shifts, roller rocker clutches with tank shifts, uh, shifter gates. I'm telling you, these guys are bad to the bone. No wonder we didn't get them at the Bay of Pigs, because I would hate to fight the Cubans. But I recommend check out Cuba. What a great place to ride a Harley Davidson. Oh my God, you know. And that's pretty much a lot of the questions she asked me. Again, I wanted her to exalt the veterans of America racing, because I finally landed on something that's forever. You know, Athena says the internet's coming back. She's just waiting. But racing for our veterans has really given me some real purpose, and I think we all need that, right? Every one of us out there have to do something that gives you that fills, like Athena says, fills that void. Hey, are you back?
I'm back.
You're killing me.
Oh, I'm telling you, like,
Oh, man.
the internet just totally went off. It was gone. And I just knew you would just keep going, because that's the true consummate professional that you are. I love you to death. I can't even
Well,
tell
I've got your questions right here, so I was going over it.
Where are we at?
That's good. Where are we at? Which question are we on?
I just wound it up. It's been nice talking to you guys. Y'all take care.
I love you.
Yeah,
You're so badass. That is too awesome. So, yes, that is cool. Where'd you leave off?
Yeah, well, you know, the last one was, you asked about one of my favorite places to ride was, and I told him Cuba. You know, Cuba is such a special country, and these people have been held down for so many years. But you know, for the life that they live, it's made them strong and powerful, and the riding there is tropical. And I mean, there's poor people that are roasting coffee beans on the highway, on these little asphalt roads, so you can't run over their coffee beans. And it's just one of the most beautiful countries I've ever been to. And I'll go to the Floridita and sit right next to where Ernest Hemingway sat when they were developing the daiquiri. And I love Cuba. I really love Cuba. Get on a motorcycle and ride Cuba.
Okay, and you can travel to and from Cuba now. It's not difficult. As difficult.
That's why I don't know if you're getting a little hot water here. I hope so. I don't have some guys coming to my house tomorrow to visit me. But
yeah, that's funny.
Normally you fly into Mexico and then you kind of sneak in from Cancun or something, you know. But I know if you're a reporter or you have credentials, you can go there on that kind of a visa. But otherwise, you just have to go in through Mexico. But the rest of the world's there. I mean, we're the only ones that aren't going there as a whole. But what a beautiful country. And those people are so elegant, so badass. I was telling them before you came on, you should see these guys ride with a roller rocker clutch and a shifter gate or a suicide.
Okay.
I mean, no, they'll win a slow race. I mean, they're bad to the bone. These guys are studs. And the women are, you should see them dance. My God, they're elegant. You know, it's just, the country's gorgeous and the people are amazing.
They haven't lost their traditions.
That's hard time to make people tough, and they're incredible. They're brilliant.
Yeah, and they do. They absolutely always see them. They're always smiling and happy to just be alive. You know,
they embrace everything.
Yes, definitely. I agree with that. And thanks for getting through the technical difficulties with me there. Yeah. This isn't some hot rod production just yet. We're working our way up to. You know,
hey, Athena, every time I MC an event, I get this. So go, you know, Godsmack's not coming out for 15 more minutes. Something's going on. Can you go out there and keep them busy? I'm like, what? What are you telling me? I'm like speaking to 40,000 people or something. They're like, hey, y'all having a good time out there? Give me a hell yeah. You know,
I love you.
It all works out. It all works out.
Awesome. So then who was your childhood hero growing up? Who did you look up to?
Muhammad Ali.
Oh,
I would literally, every fight he had, like in Africa or wherever, I had a 64 Ford Galaxy. I would drive to downtown LA to the Olympic Auditorium. And let me tell you, racially, there wasn't a lot of honkies there, as you'd say.
Right.
And I would go down to the Olympic and watch it on pay-per-view. And there's something about that guy that just reeled me in as a young person. And, you know, again, when he was against the Vietnam War, he was willing to go to jail to protest that war. He wasn't running from anything. He said, I don't even know these people. And, he was a man of his convictions. And as a boxer, he was a Michael Jordan of boxing. He was just beautiful to watch. And he was brilliant, and he was smart, and he was quick-witted. And, he was just a poor black kid that came up through Louisville, Kentucky, that made something of himself, and that inspired people of every race, including the 69-year-old white dude. I regret never having met Muhammad Ali, because I revered that man. He's my hero.
He was someone that I can't ever remember when he was fighting that it wasn't on the TV. My dad was a boxer. When my grandpa passed away and my family was in O'Hare National Airport, he was flying, and my dad went over, and his guards almost attacked him. And he said, hey, my dad just passed away, and could you say something to my mom? She loves you. He went over and he sat with my nanny, and he talked to her for quite some time. He was an incredible human being. So that
you're making me tear up.
You just gave me goosebumps, because that's the kind of person that you saw on television, like at his fights, and like you said, a man of his convictions, but with an absolute heart, and just always wanted to leave a lasting impression on people in the most positive way, and know that it was just good to stand up for who you were. But yeah, my dad was a Gold Gloves boxer. You never missed a Muhammad Ali. Never missed a Muhammad Ali fight ever.
I didn't either. And he was something special. When he won the Olympics, he was so proud when he came home. He had that gold medal around his neck, and he told a friend of his, we're going to go have a hamburger. And he went in a predominantly white cafe, ordered a hamburger, and they wouldn't serve him. And he threw that medal in the river. That it really hit him hard. And when people talk about the good old days were good. And I mean, I go back 69 years. I've seen some shit, but that was the one thing that wasn't good, was the racism part of it. But we've come a long way since then. In some ways, we've come too far. I won't get political, but yeah, that was the only bad thing about those days, because we're all equals. We're all children of God. We don't have skin color. We got souls.
Right.
And man, that man had a lot of soul, and I'll never forget him.
Yeah, I feel the same way. Yeah, we all have to pay green, and we all bleed red. So across the board, that's pretty much where it is. So then in motorcycles, who was the person that you looked up to in motorcycles? Like, is there somebody that really that was kind of like your hero in motorcycles?
Well, Arlen Ness, one of the things that he did to me, I had that 59 Sportster I told you about. And then I ended up hooking up with a lady. Well, actually, it was my wife. We got together, but then we separated, and I went back to LA, and I was a male escort, and I worked. I did all kinds of crazy shit, trying to get in the studio. I was trying to get in the studios, and funny, back then they tell me if you were Latin or black, I could hire you, but I couldn't get in because I was white, believe it or not. But anyway, I couldn't get in the studios. So I finally went to Maui and lived there. I lived in a cave for a year, and I worked on the beach. I worked for a scuba diving instructor. And then I went to Alaska, worked on the pipeline. But I finally came back to Northern California, and I was done with kind of my traveling. I hooked up with my girl again. And I went to Laytonville to get a bottle of propane filled up, a 20-gallon bottle. And there's Arlen Ness on a redwood run, fueling his bike up. And Athena, this bike was from another planet. It wasn't anything like that resembled a motorcycle that we know. And I went up, I slammed the brakes on, I ran up, and I asked him a ton of stupid questions. And this badass James Dean with the blown sandy blonde hair and the kick-ass exotic cowboy boots took the time to tell me everything about that bike. And I went home and I told my wife, I said, Claudia, we're going to have a panhead. And we were going on the Redwood Run this time next year. It's every year. And within 2 weeks, I had a 62 panhead. I had a guy named Walt Miles build an 84-inch motor. And I've never looked back since. So I got to give Arlen credit for that, because he planted that seed with me at a gas station in Laytonville.
That is so cool. What an awesome
story. True story. And I told her we'll never be without a bike ever again in our life. We're not looking back, and we never have been.
And you were a male escort, huh? That's pretty interesting.
Well, I wasn't a prostitute. I was a male escort.
An escort, right. You would take pretty ladies to dinner and be on their arm.
They weren't always so pretty, but they had but they had money, and they wanted someone to put their arm around and order their
Yeah.
dinner for them and open the door
Hmm.
for them and grab their chair for them. And my mother raised me like that. And
Right.
but I was doing terrible out in LA. Really, that trip to Maui, it was, I said, I got to change my life. And I got on a plane, and ironically, I got ripped off for all my money in LAX. It's like God said, son, you're starting with fresh slate. No more male escort, no more jive ass bullshit. You're starting
Right.
over. And I got there scared to death. And I'll never forget a lady named Ardella. She told me, I said, ma'am, my name's Jay Allen. I'm scared. I don't know where to sleep tonight. And I don't, I don't have a job. And I have this gold ring, and my mother's, I still have it. It's a sapphire gold ring. And I said, if you'll hold this ring and put me up for the night, I've got to find a job tomorrow. And she says, you've already got a job. You're going to be busting dishes in the coffee shop. And within a week, I was a head banquet waiter for the Sheraton Maui. And my life has been that same since. I just decided, dude, you need to get it right. You need to start over, start from scratch, and be a good man. And look at where I am today. I'm on your show. My God, I mean,
I
it's like
love it.
life's been so good since then.
I'm honored. I can't even tell you. I mean, but again, you're like family. It's like being at home when I see you. So I just even here
Well,
on
we are
camera,
family. Yeah.
we are family. It
Yeah.
is crazy. And when you say something, somebody say, well, Jay Allen, yeah, I know Jay, and everybody knows someone at some point in time, but to actually really have gotten to know you. And I just tell you what, I still have a lot of women friends. I don't know. We were somewhere about 12 or 15 years ago, and I had the trailer, and it was the gooseneck, and you came over and you were bored, and you started doing pull-ups underneath flat,
Oh, yeah.
like
Yeah,
planking
working at it.
pull-ups.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh my God. Those women, I swear to God, they were like, oh my God. Every time I saw them, hey, where's your friend Jay? Where's your friend Jay?
Oh, you're killing me.
Oh, I love it. That's so funny. And you stay in really good shape. You take really good care of yourself.
Well,
So
it's weird, but when you're doing over 200 miles an hour on a naked bike, you
yeah.
can't be separated from it. My buddy Wink Eller at 181 blew off
Wink.
his bike like a
Boy,
potato chip. Yeah, Wink, good old Wink. And
I'd
so,
love
yeah,
to
I
have
stay
him
in shape
someday.
for the racing. And but it's funny when you talk about my name. All the years I've MC, you'll never, maybe 1%, but I never say who I am. Because it isn't about the MC, it's about the
Right.
band, it's about the event, it's nothing to do with me. I'm just the guy that gives I'm your advocate. I'm going to tell you what's going on and what's happening, what you need to do. But so I never say my name. So sometimes people say, hey, give it up for Jay Allen. And I hear
You're so
because
funny.
they don't know it's me, because I don't say who I am.
Well, you don't, but everybody knows who you are. I mean, pretty much. Yeah. If they don't have a pulse, because you are the motorcycle industry. There's no doubt about that for sure. So for all these people, again, you're iconic in our world for the reason, like I said before, you make us all feel at home. You are the one who
you are at home.
Yeah, and you exude that all the time. That's your persona of who you are, and it's not fake. It's very real. It's not an act. So we all appreciate that. Okay, so then I guess Arlen, that kind of covers the motorcycle hero. So what's one of your most cherished motorcycle memories?
Damn, that's a really tough one. That's a real, I tell you, we did and you've probably been on this, but in Sturgis, we do a ride to the ranch. I know Kevin's been there. I've watched him on that knucklehead bracing barrels. He's a badass, but we do a ride to the ranch, and the relationship between the bikers and the ranchers was off the chart. These people are the sweetest people in the world, and they love the bikers so much that all their ranching friends from all around would bring all their horses out. So guys like Dave Perowitz, who's never got on a horse, he goes, hey, Jay, look, I'm riding a horse, and they bring all their horses out so the bikers could ride the horses. And then we'd have a barrel race, a horse against the bike, and that relationship. And I got to tell you, like to go up one of those hills and to look back and see miles of paint and chrome. And I'm looking up on the porch, and the ranchers are scrambling because they're screaming, here, they're coming, and that's pretty epic. It really is. And then to watch the two cultures intermingle and the love and the fun that we had, that's a hell of a ride.
Yeah, that's a good memory, because I tell everybody that's about as close to God as you can get, riding a motorcycle or riding a horse. Those are the two things. So past that. So then if you had to pick a favorite hosting memory, something that really you
Man.
cherish as a memory for that?
That again, you're killing me with all these. This pick one
I love.
thing. You're absolutely killing me because they're all. It's just so much in my heart every time I do it. It's real and it's fun and it's genuine. You know what I mean? So it's like
Right?
I cannot think of one. It's just uh,
Have you
I
ever
just can't
married
tell you.
anybody on stage? Have you ever?
Oh, I've had people. I had a guy propose to his girl and she said no on stage.
Oh shit, that's a memorable MC event
Oh
experience.
yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, and I've had guys pull
Wow.
their unit out of their pants on stage. You know,
Okay.
tell them to tuck their shit away. And I've had crazy things happen on stage. I mean, oh my God, are you kidding? 30 something years of it. I've had some
Yeah.
serious shit go down. I had
Yeah.
a girl in the popsicle licking contest. I had all these little hotties, right? And I go, so what's your name? Where are you from? Oh, my name's Samantha and I'm from so-and-so. And all of a sudden this little cute college type girl jumps up there. I mean, adorable, but in a sweatpants and a sweatshirt and cute as shit, right? When she licked that popsicle, everyone's faces dropped. And I mean, and she tore that popsicle to shreds. And I'm looking at the crowd, they're like, oh my God. You know, they're like, there were some Woodies in the house, I'll tell you that,
Oh
right?
yeah.
So guess what? Her dad went up across the street to make a phone call. She jumped up, won the $100, got off, and her dad never knew she did it.
Oh shit. Wow,
Yeah,
that's pretty slick there.
yeah.
That's
And boy, I'm ready to go back to college. That little girl tore it up.
no doubt. Like and I've seen some of those contests and they are pretty eventful. There's
That
some
was
real
up in
talent out there.
that was up in Laconia. And by the way, Laconia is going to be 100 years old this year.
It is June, and the dates for
100
that
years
are
old.
June. That's the second week in June.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
100 years.
that is awesome. Wow.
It's
And you'll be
incredible.
there?
I don't know that I will make it because I'm coming out of the Isle of Man. If I can make
Right.
it, I
For the
will, but I'm not
okay.
100% on it. But that's going to be a real regret if I don't make it. And I might not, but oh my God, a century note. It's the oldest rally there is.
That's so crazy cool. I have
Yeah,
not yet been, but I do want to go for sure. That's something that every time I see Chris and Heather go or someone else, and
yeah.
I'm just like, okay, I'm going to use the excuse. Don's birthday is in June. One year, I'm going to use that as an excuse and take him to Laconia. I think that's
Yeah,
a
well,
good way
I
to get
built the
away with
Broken
that.
Spoke there 25 years ago.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and that's a big one too. I mean, like you don't mess around. You do the real deal. But
Oh,
like
absolutely.
I think my favorite part of the Broken Spoke was always you get to ride through, you get to ride through the bar. Like who in the 80s we had a bar that I used to bartend at and we'd open the front door and the back door right in front of the band shell and they would stop and do burnouts there. And I always thought that was cool. And then
Yeah.
when I got to the Broken Spoke, I was like, oh, this is way better. Way better. You can do laps and you're just like, yeah, look at that. That is too
Hey,
funny.
and Myrtle Beach, isn't Myrtle Beach happening? It's firing up this weekend.
It
And
is this
I know,
weekend?
I'm pretty sure it is.
Oh, yeah.
But I know Bill Barber down at the SBB and Doyce up at what used to be the Broken Spoke. I think it's called Spokes and Bones. And there's a lot of other great bars, lots of good restaurants. But I used to announce a band, jump on my army bike, haul ass down to the beach, strip down to my underwear, go body surfing, go back up, look around, put my underwear on the handlebar, put my pants on quick, go back up on stage and get there. And I go, you guys aren't going to believe this. I just went body surfing when this band played that set, It was
Oh
so much
my
fun.
goodness. That's cool. Yeah, boy,
Yeah.
you definitely so you body surf, huh?
Oh, yeah. Well, living in Hawaii for all those years, I'm a water guy too, scuba diver, and I love the ocean. It's incredible.
Miss Christine Summer Simmons, she said if I come out there, she'd teach me how to surf. I've always wanted to learn how to surf. I live in Florida, but I don't like sharks. I'm not a fan.
Yeah.
And they always seem to want to eat people on
She's living on
surfboards.
my favorite island. I tell you, Maui
Maui.
is so beautiful. Oh my God. It's been a while since I've been there. My wife and I would go there for the winters, and then my father broke his hip, so we had to come back and take care of him. But I love Maui. She's living large.
Yeah.
Chris, you're killing it. I love you. You're.
She was with Gloria this past weekend. They were at the Midwest Women Riders
I
event.
saw a picture today, and
How
those
incredible.
women are just amazing. Gloria's going to be 98. I love that
98.
woman.
I love them both so much. I'm with you on that for sure. Okay, so then again,
You're one of them.
thank you.
You are.
Most cherished racing memory? Something that like stands
Well,
out. That's
I did this while you were off air, but I'll repeat it. Is
okay.
on my FXR, it takes 2 passes to make a record. You go down, and if it's higher than the record, then you got to back it up, and then they average those two, and so it takes 2 passes to make a record. I made 8 passes on that FXR and set 4 records. The guy upstairs was shining on me, and when I went to the award ceremony, they had to give it to me on a tray because there were so many trophies.
Oh,
That was
nice.
probably the most memorable time. I mean, it was perfection.
How cool. That is awesome.
Yeah.
And you've worked hard for it. So Dennis Stauber is just messaged in. He said he was there. Lori Struck the Silva, Gloria's daughter. She says,
I
hey,
love that
Jay
girl.
and Chicky.
Oh,
Dennis
give my
says there
love.
were, we love you, Miss Lori. Dennis says there were 570 women at the event this past weekend. How cool is that? Boy, howdy.
Holy cow.
That is an awesome event. Okay, so this is the question I gotta have the answer to. I can't wait. So if you could go back and tell your 25-year-old self something, what would it be?
All right. Well, I covered this too while you were.
I missed it.
Yeah.
Damn Comcast. That's all right.
But what I've learned now is that a lot of the stuff that I did when I was younger, and again, living in Maui and working on the pipeline and cycling all over Europe. I mean, it was awesome, but I think if I did it again, I would be better at it. I would absorb more. I would probably slow it down. And I was telling a young man that asked me, he literally looked at me and says, you look like you've done some shit. Is there anything you can tell me? And I said, yeah, slow it down. Think like an old person in a young person's body so that you can really saturate yourself with everything around you and really take it in. Not just saying you did it or doing it, but really absorbing it as close to 100% as you can. And that's what I would share with people, because that's what at 69, that's what I'm doing. And life is better than it's ever been for me, because I think I'm more focused on really absorbing every little nuance, from relationships to smells and odors and bike rides and racing. It's nothing's forever. It's also symbolic. So take it in 100%.
I think that's one of our best answers so far out of all my guests. I love everybody to death, but that was probably one of the best. So then if money didn't matter and you could take a road trip on your motorcycle anywhere, where would that be and with who?
Typically, again, I kind of covered that. It would be Cuba, and I'd be alone.
Okay. Cuba, and you'd be alone?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, and the reason I travel alone is because that's where I meet the people. I throw myself out there completely. I don't know anybody, and everywhere I go, I'm the guy that walks and everyone's like, who the hell is this? But that's when the magic happens. I mean, I ended up hanging out with Che Guevara's son, Ernesto, drinking mojitos and riding Harleys through Cuba. And you just can't make this shit up, So yeah, I like going alone and throwing myself to the wolves and seeing how I come out of it,
I love that. I absolutely love that. Okay, so then can you tell us something about yourself that other people may not know?
Boy, I don't know what that'd be. I'm kind of an open book. Dang.
Sing, you dance, you sew, do you crochet?
I'm a terrible dancer.
Really?
I'm a good kisser.
You go. That's something.
You can't dance. I can kiss.
That's what matters. That's the important part. Dancing well.
But no, I think just I'm a good listener.
There you go. I like that one. That's a really good one. I really like that. So then the last part of it would be if I could ask you to give us your 5 good things.
Again, you're killing me here. I mean, be true to yourself, absorb everything that you're doing, exalt people as much as you can and lift them up, because we're our worst critics, and anything you can do to make somebody feel better about themselves, because it's there. You just have to see that potential. That's something that I always try and do as the owner of the Spoke or the guy on stage, that, acknowledge people. And, that's 3, isn't it? Is 3 good enough? You're killing me. But
We'll let you. Peanut butter. Don says peanut butter is
good. Be yourself. That's all I can say. And share your passion with other people. Even share your passion with other people so it can so it can rub off on them and get them excited about something. That's what I call it, planting seeds. That's what I try and do is I plant seeds. And when it comes back to me, I see it. Someone will say something, they'll go, and I go, wow, that worked. They heard me and it worked. So, I try and plant seeds of goodness in different ways.
Well, you do a fabulous job of that for sure. And I cannot thank you enough for being here and letting everybody get to know the wonderful person that we all know you are
Well, I'm
and
honored. Thank you
sharing
so
your
much.
stories. That is fantastic. And if you need anything, again, we can help. If you need help on the race team,
Same here. I got you too.
whatever
I
you
got
need.
you too.
Okay. And
I love you guys.
I love you too. And Donnie sends his love. He's back there pushing the buttons. I had a panic attack, and he's like, "It's okay, Comcast, not you, Comcast."
I had your back, kind of, sort of.
You did great. I love it. I can't say thank you enough. Yeah. And so, okay. Well, I will see you soon. Have an excellent time at the
All right.
TMMR, and then at the Isle of Man. I mean, text me some pictures because wow, I want
I
to
will.
live vicariously through you. That is awesome.
You got it. And like I
Okay.
always say, you guys, shiny side up, rubber side down.
That's right. All right.
Goddamn.
Thanks, Jay. We love you.
God bless.
You too. Wow, how awesomely incredible is that? I am so lucky. That is fantastic. And however, I have technical difficulties. At least my guests are good sports and they actually literally will go ahead and carry on with the show until somehow Comcast comes back. We're going to have to see how that works. I got to ask some real professionals about that. Okay, so I'm going to give you my afterthought. Yeah, Don's back there. He's like, we're going to do what we're going to do. Okay, so my afterthought. What is the true meaning of service? What does it mean to be of service? So the dictionary defines service as an active, helpful activity. Okay, so to serve means to be of use. Everyone has life shit, and time is a valuable commodity. We all know that. But you must really think, where would we be without our service members and those who serve in our community? So be inspired by others. Be inspired by what you just heard and saw here. Do your best to be of service to at least your community. And when things get tough, remember, just tell yourself 5 good things. It might change your perspective. And then smile, pass it on. Remember to spread your sunshine even on the rainy days and be kind to yourself and others. It matters. And of course, you could go to athenaafterdark.com now, and we'd love for you to participate. Send us your 5 good things, cool stuff, events, charities, programs in your area, and or, questions for a bit of biker chick perspective to the web address you see on the screen. And please keep it positive. We're going to have a blooper show one time and read all this crazy shit that some of you send us, but it's funny. I laugh about it. Okay. And don't forget to follow on Facebook, subscribe to the YouTube channel. We're going to get our own custom name. Now we have enough subscribers, but more is always better. And then the Athena After Dark website, share it all. Stay tuned for more great guests. Thanks to the incredible Jay Allen for joining us. And thanks to our sponsor, Techno Research. Thank you all for tuning in. And we'll see you next week with another great guest, 10 p.m. Monday night. Love to you all. Good night and chopper on.